Hey, we want to welcome you all to another episode of the Black Market Podcast presented by Hack the Markets. I am one of your co hosts, AC, also known as the Market Oracle.
What's going on? Green checking in. Let's get it.
Hey, 4K can check in, man. Hope everybody had a good Friday, Junior. Found some couple plays that you can get into with this crazy market.
Yeah, Friday, Junior. It is Friday for me, so it is Friday for me.
Right.
Let's
So
get it. Yes, sir. Man,
So, what
we
you all
are.
been seeing in the market,
There's been
Joe?
quite a lot of things going on
That's what I
in the
was just
in the
about to say.
world right now.
Yeah, that's what I
A
was just
lot of
about to say.
things. I mean, we pretty much on the verge of what World War Three, four, something like that.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a world war because nobody wants to jump in because it's really just gonna be between the two countries. But
Right.
it is definitely some interesting stuff popping off out here. I'll say that.
yeah.
And I mean, you who would think that like so much would weigh on these other nations.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, like, with the internet and everything, is so like connected now.
Yeah, intermingle.
Yeah,
That's
it's to the
true
point
too.
now where you can't really go anywhere without seeing. I mean, you can connect with somebody in Africa right now if you want to, like this instant, or China, or wherever you wanted to. It's just that interconnected now. Before, it wasn't that interconnected.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of those regulations and everything also interconnect too. So that puts the
Yeah,
whole and on a different scale than if you're just worrying about your country itself.
yeah, for sure.
I was about to say those commodities too definitely are affected.
Yeah,
For those.
because see, oil. Russia is a big oil producer, so they're part of OPEC too. So
I was hoping by now we would see some supply chain resolution somewhat, but the way that everything's going, it's going to be hard before we start to see it really come back.
yeah, it's making it hard. I'll say that it is definitely making it hard.
Yeah, I ain't looking for a supply chain return to about Q3, Q4.
Because right now it's
Yeah,
definitely looking.
yeah, for sure. That's what a lot of analysts are saying too. Like they even were saying that last year that
Mm-hmm.
end of 2022 is probably going to be the time that we start seeing like a lot of this stuff. I guess get back in line and correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
man.
I see that the Dow suffered its worst day of the year today. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Since what, like November or something?
yeah, well, for today, like as for the year leading up from January until now, this is the worst day. Now, I don't know how
Right.
far back we need to go to see another day like this.
I'm saying the overall market, it doesn't look great either.
Yeah, and that's the
That's,
thing. That's what I've been telling a lot of people is the fact that big tech is going to be pulling back a lot, only because interest rates are going up. Interest rates go up, growth stocks get hit. Simple.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah, I know what I was yelling in the chat earlier today.
the earning.
Yeah, I
Put
know
it
put
in,
season been in full effect for
put it
some of you
in,
guys.
put it in, put it in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, I had to put it in for the day.
Yeah, it's definitely put season now. It is definitely put season around here.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be interesting to see the next levels that these a lot of these companies could even go to, like, because
Yeah,
I definitely seeing another level is about to happen, but like this level we're gonna be like,
This is there's everything's kind of sitting at that low. So if you were looking to buy something on sale, this is one of the good times.
absolutely.
yep. I mean, that's definitely a good way to look at it. I would probably wait a little bit longer though. Things
Yeah.
still tanking out a little bit. I'll wait for it to get a little firm support, and then I'll start coming in. Don't want to get
I-
into the business of calling bottoms.
Unless
right.
positions build back up, so get some volatile or some more momentum in there
Mm-hmm.
around price. Yeah.
Yeah, you get in there and start calling bottoms, man. You get screwed sometimes.
market makers been having a field day with how low you can throw those prices and just.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, like, the momentum traders have jumped in on it. Like, there's a lot of people that's getting in. Fear traders, people that know about the interest rates. There's a lot of people, like, they're putting money out of the stock market and putting it into the bond market because that's what happens. Like, you sell off. Well, right now, they're not putting it over there because they're selling off bonds. And because they're doing that, that's making the interest rates go up. Mm-hmm. But, of course, they're doing that because they know the interest rates are about to rise. So people really aren't they're gonna start buying those bonds because they can get a higher rate. That's the reason why they're selling them now. They're selling them now because the rates are cheaper now, and they know that in the future is going to be higher. So you're going to be holding on to something that's not as enticing. So just go ahead and sell it, and then wait for the interest rates to go up higher.
Yeah, go back in there and go get another. Yeah.
So bond market is definitely doing what it's supposed to do. We saw the 10-year over 2%. We've seen that a couple days now too, because it happened. It happened, I think, last week, and then I think it happened this week too. So yeah, because the numbers I think came out last week, and I think that's when we saw the 2% number.
Yeah.
Get hit. So yeah, it's definitely been things have been working as expected. I'll say that things have definitely been working as expected because especially when you have such a tech heavy index.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I mean, it's been going low for a little while now, so that's why. Do we have a bear market somewhere hidden in this, or is that?
It's definitely a big correction because things are overvalued, and once you start raising those rates, that's just gonna make things tumble. Nobody really wants to buy this stuff now because they know, like, growth stocks are solely priced based off of multiples and how much of earnings in the future. Yeah. So if you're not going to be growing at the same rate, then they're going to discount
it. This is, yeah. I say this is going to be pretty exciting.
It challenges your strategy. I'll say that.
Hey, I'll say this. Kathy Wood said her innovative stocks are way undervalued, and the recent fund losses are temporary.
That's because somebody whispered to her, "You need to bring some money in the house."
Hey, she out here trying to defend what she got going on. Yeah. She's trying to say, "Hey, we're not as bad as you guys think."
Temporary.
That's what she's trying to say. Is temporary. The recent fund losses are temporary. So, I mean, of course, everybody knew this correction was coming. But a lot of these guys can't, like the Kathy Woods and people like that. Us as small traders, yeah, we can get in and out of a position. When you're trading millions of shares, there's no way you can get out of that position fast enough. You see that thing start tanking down, yeah. When we see a trend line break, yeah, we can get out. We're nimble enough to do that. If you got a million shares, how you gonna get out of a million shares right then just because you saw a trend line break? You can't. So don't think that she is, doing something that she could have did better. I mean, you can only do what you can do.
That's right. But that makes it so that you have to, again, testing your strategy, making sure that your analysis is solid, because she definitely has to do it more than anyone.
Exactly. And with that, like, a lot of these people like this, they have, like, these are long term. They're not necessarily trading this stuff. They may buy, like, a little extra when they see something's going on. And, that might be like a trade if you want to think about that. Like, they want to hold on to 10,000, but they may buy an extra 500 or something just to kind of like play around with the buying.
May even cover your brokerage fee and all that, and behind the scenes stuff.
But that 10,000 is going to stay. That 500, that might get bought, and then if it goes down, they might sell it, or if it goes up, they'll sell it for a profit. They'll do things like that, but sometimes they'll scale out of positions once they get that point too. So it just depends. These guys are really in there for the long term.
But I said another thing on 4K, you mentioning people's strategy during this time. This is also a time of like where news is heavily just thrown around crazy. So, I would just like to recommend like just trust what the chart shows you.
No.
Yeah, people are gonna say, we got they literally been saying rates are gonna go up for I don't know how long now.
And man, I called it last year, and I think I
So
might have
you
called
remember
it
that?
like
You
early
did.
2021.
You definitely did.
Because I've
I
been
mean,
talking about inflation. Like you can go back on the records. Like I've been talking about inflation. I was getting in debates on people on the internet, and they were talking about, oh, inflation. I said, man, I don't know what world you living in, but inflation is all around. And
right.
you guys just keep turning a blind eye to it until it slapped you. And now it's to a point where it has to be managed. When it could have just been carefully managed leading up, now it has to be aggressively managed.
Yeah.
I was about to say they had a Fed's meeting. Where that Fed meeting was on. Was that last week?
Third Wednesday.
Last Thursday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and results. Yeah, Fed's thinking about raising rates really soon.
Yep. It's
Well,
coming in March. And the thing
right.
is, everybody knows it's coming in March. So the thing is, what everybody is looking at now is it going to be a 0.25%, 25 basis point or 50 basis point? That's what the big news is now. Market is pricing in a 50 basis point, though.
Well, that's news to me. I'm glad that I now know that it's actually happening in March.
Yeah, I mean that's what everybody is keying in on. And
Right.
then on top of that, they had also added another rate hike in there because at first last year they were saying 3 this year, 3 next year. Now they're saying 4
Mhm.
this year.
Right.
So that was a change. So that's what I'm talking about by being a little bit more aggressive. They're having to be so aggressive, and now they're thinking about doing 50-point basis point moves instead of the 25. So now it's like they're having to be a lot more aggressive. It's definitely been reflected inside of the um, what's the name of it? The home loans. I had a guy that I know. I was reading one of his posts on the internet, and he was talking about how he went to a closing last year. It was like 2 point something, and this year is like 4.5, and that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big difference, and the rates haven't even been raised yet. So that was just a couple days ago. The rates haven't been raised yet, but the 10 year
No.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff is already going up because they know that the rates are about to go up. I think inflation may have been. I think maybe quoting it wrong, but I think it was like 7.5% or something like that.
Oh
So
yeah, that inflation number that we had on
mhm,
the report. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty much expected to continue.
yeah. So that's way higher. Like they always target inflation to be 2%. So 7.5% is like way beyond what your target is, because inflation was not existent for a very long time.
What a market that would have been to be in.
A non-inflation market.
I mean, inflation was low for a very long time. It's been like that ever since. And like 2016, 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, looking historically, I mean, just looking at the indexes, like you're not gonna see any pullbacks like what we're experiencing now in history. Like you're not gonna see that.
Yeah.
So
And the
I guess
reason
that's a
why it
clear
looks
that's a
different
clear
now, I
clear
guess, is
example.
because we're dealing with bigger numbers too. So a 10% pullback on, like, when you're working with 100,
That's
Oh
if your
right.
yeah,
index is 100, 10% pullback is nothing but one or
definitely.
10.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're up into like 10,000, now your 10% pullback is 1,000.
Yeah, a lot more.
Yeah, so it's gonna look more aggressive. The thing is, like, the way that you kind of like smooth that out is you look at logarithm charts. They kind of like takes out the percent. It kind of like levels all the percentage moves, and then you can kind of see it a little bit better. That is
Yeah,
one thing that's a little tricky though, because it does look like it's wild west now compared to what we used to see.
yeah. I would say personally, me too. Like, you made a great point about looking at percentages because I mean, trading overall, that's pretty much what you want to look at is percentages. You're not gonna
Hmm.
want to look at a price number because You're not gonna be able to be consistent with that.
No.
Yeah.
Unless you got like some patterns or something that you're throwing out, like you got some technicals that you're working off of. Yeah. If you're just trying to day trade or something like that, you better go with those percentages.
You got to know that percentage you're taking profit and that percentage that you're closing it out.
Right. Always gotta
Exactly.
identify that.
Exactly.
Man, folks been jumping on Facebook, ain't they?
It seems like I know Jerome had told me that he jumped in on it. He bought it. I forgot what he said he bought it. He bought it at one of these low points. So we're gonna
I
see.
think I was talking about people jumping them like beating them up.
Oh man. Yeah, that too.
That's what I
Facebook
said.
has been getting beat up. PayPal has been getting beat up. Like it's a lot of them that's been getting like kind of hammered.
Hammered, like
Yeah.
what? Hammered, man. I want to say Google had some type of issues with Facebook too. Google had some issues with them. Amazon had an issue.
GE was down as well.
That's
GE.
crazy.
GE down. Like how much down? Because this thing literally what it did. It did a split already. It did a split already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they have.
Yeah, GE. Yeah, it's already done its split.
So,
It did a reverse split, made the stock pop up to about $100 or something.
yeah. It was now it's all the way down to 91. So
Okay. I mean, it's still not bad because I don't know where it popped off to the
That's
top.
not-
So I have to look.
yesterday.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. Shoot, our crypto is trying to hang in there a little bit. They hanging.
They're giving some people some opportunities, but I'm really curious to see how people act with Bitcoin when it gets to a lower, maybe in that upper 30s, low 30s range.
It is really hanging in there. Like
I'm ready to see what this supposed inflation hedge is about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. What is that going to do?
Is
So
it a
when it
true
really
inflation hedge? Because if that's the case, then this thing should be, appreciating, I guess.
yeah.
I think now that it's getting to a little lower, people are starting to feel that they can get into it more versus when it was like, doubled and was sitting at 60 or 65. It would seem like it was too wide of a spread. So
One thing I will say though is when you see something fall too much, you might not want to mess with it.
yeah. You can trust it on the way up because it's gonna go down.
Mm-hmm. When that thing keeps tanking down, you might not want to mess with it right there. You might want to let it go ahead and do what it's doing.
Let
Let it
somebody else
settle
make
out,
that.
and then mess with it.
Don't chase that train.
Please don't. You will lose your money chasing that train.
You better out riding the train.
I'm telling you. Hey, you better be on that train. Hey, they'll do it like Snowpiercer. Y'all ever watch Snowpiercer?
Mm-hmm.
Man, Snowpiercer. Have y'all ever heard of it? Like the storyline?
What's it
So
about?
it's basically like the earth that is frozen over. And they have this train that you have to be on. If you're not on this train, you're dead.
Oh.
And the train is basically like a perpetual engine and all this stuff. It's way convoluted, way more than what I want to get into now. But pretty much the train, it keeps running around around the world. And if the train ever stops, everybody dies. So because that's the only way, it's too cold to go outside. So Snowpiercer, that's what they call it.
Well,
it's a movie and it's also a series. I actually watched the series a little bit. I got caught up in it. I think it's like season 3 or something like that.
Damn, that's interesting right there.
Yeah, for sure. Like, definitely, it's an interesting take. I'll say that. One of those weird shows I like to watch. Outside of stuff like Power and stuff like that.
Hulu and Netflix. It's on Hulu or HBO or something?
It is on, what is it on? TNT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on TNT. What was I about to say? Oh, speaking of other shows, though, have you guys had a chance to check out the new re-edition of Bel Air?
I saw
It
commercial.
came out. It's out.
Yeah, it's out now. It's 4 episodes out now.
Yeah.
Four full
Oh,
episodes.
It's
hey,
kind of a cool spinoff. I don't know how much different you can really make the episodes and all, but
So it's pretty much they turned it. It's not a comedy anymore. It's a drama.
yeah, they kind of talk like, they talk like through his like growing up and more so than
Yeah, it's like it's modernized and it's more of a drama than it is a comedy. So it's a little different, but if you go into it, if you never watched Fresh Prince of Bel Air, you will feel like, okay, this is a pretty decent show. If you watched it, just go in not expecting it to
yeah. I
be
was
a
gonna say it's gonna be
comedy,
hard to switch that.
because the thing is, like, everyone's name is the same and all that stuff, so the characters and all of that is the same. It's just you just have to get over the point that it's not a comedy and it's more of a drama. And I mean, once you do that, it's pretty a good show. It's a pretty
Pretty good.
decent show,
Okay.
and that's on Peacock. Peacock is NBC, and that is Universal, NBC Universal. So that's who the parent company is for the streaming. You know, you got your Netflix, you got your streaming wars out here, of course. You got your Netflix, your
mhm.
Disney Plus, you got your Paramount Plus, you got your Peacock, you got all these. So that's a play for them. So, Viacom, that would be your Paramount Plus. Netflix, of course, is Netflix. Can't forget about Amazon Video. So Amazon Play for that.
Nice. Oh, Amazon, boy. I ain't heard too much talk about them in a while.
Yeah, you know they're gonna hold tight, but
Ooh, talk about we was talking about those meetings earlier. How about these freaking oil prices?
oh yeah, you know oil is going up because of what we talked about earlier with Russia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
I mean, like,
Right into it.
yeah, these guys are the oil is like literally like like a weekly high from like
Okay.
years ago. Maybe about a couple of years ago, US oil.
Yeah, now U.S. oil a couple years ago had shot up real ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I know it's not all time highs, 'cause I think that thing had got up to like 150 or more a
Yeah,
barrel.
it ain't quite there yet, but it's creeping.
Okay,
It's creeping. It's creeping there. It's creeping up there.
but you know
You
OPEC had already said they were gonna bring supply back. So I think they're gonna bring supply. U.S. has already opened up a lot of supply. So yeah, I think prices are stabilized. But as of right now, you know, with all the supply chain constraints, it's like, can you get the gas at the gas station? So
Right.
I was about to say, anyone looking at any of these oil companies for like any plays?
I looked at so I was looking at that Slumberger. I know that it was in the channel, so I couldn't get into it right then. I think they do oil fields. And I wanted to get in on that, but I was waiting on it to go ahead and finish its down. It was at a peak when I was looking at it. Um Chevron and Exxon had came up on my list too, so I was kind of looking at them too. That's actually
Yes.
some, you know,
It's crypto has
some good
gotten
stuff right there.
That marathon got nice and active.
Yeah.
Marathon.
I didn't see that one.
I was about to say, did y'all mention that was mentioned a little bit and talked about it a little bit in the chat. It was we had an eye on it. I don't know if anyone actually caught the move, but they had a nice move from 19 to 21 this past couple of weeks.
Yeah, like you
Uh,
said, that US oil though from Forex has definitely had some pretty trending patterns that you could kind of ride with support and resistance wise.
man, Dude, it's some good companies. Like, I just want to call out Nvidia. They're doing amazing. As far as revenue and everything, but literally getting dragged down by the market,
Yeah.
and it's just like, sheesh, like when is when? When is when, man?
Yeah,
Good,
exactly.
man. And then we know that gold has been going on a streak since Valentine. It's like, I think we talked about that on the show before.
Yeah.
About it running up until, I mean, dude, it's that thing.
From Christmas to now, it was going to continue to move. So.
Shoot, 4K, you still got that play, man? You still holding that?
I wanted to get out of it because I didn't know what it was going to do this week. I got scared and I said, let me get my money home. So I still got a little.
Yeah, to capitalize on the post Valentine.
There was a lot of movement. So I was like, I don't want to play, and this thing flips, and then especially the way I saw the indexes moving. I said, oh, let's stay safe here.
I'm saying. Well, hey, I think we're gonna get to that point in time where we can throw out some picks if y'all want to. Y'all got anything y'all want to share?
And look, I don't know. I threw this in our personal chat, but it's a little too late for the viewers. But hey, I'm selling American Airlines.
Okay.
Selling American Airlines. I mean, we are getting our, travel and all that stuff back, but it's not enough with this market. Is this? If anybody's gonna get drugged down, the airline is gonna get drugged down with the market.
That's for sure.
For sure. For sure.
That's for sure. I was looking at Starbucks. I know since it had a little fall and then had a big movement last week. Let me see what they were going to do coming out of this, because everybody's still going to go get the coffee regardless how much it costs.
That's a fact.
For sure. Well, for me, I got Walmart on my list. I'm watching Walmart. I think it might try to break out of one of these patterns. So I got Walmart on my list.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you think these, I guess, grocery stores and supermarkets are going to really benefit off of this inflation?
They could, because the stores are now, they are saying that they're seeing like Walmart in particular, they are saying that they have shoppers on alert. They're seeing shoppers on alert just because the grocery bills are increasing.
Right.
But I mean, everyone has to eat, so it's like you can't not buy something from the grocery store. Like, you're just gonna probably buy a little less, or you're gonna change up what you're buying or something. But you're still gonna have to eat.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes with those jobless claims too, and then
see if we can
keep the price there.
For sure. Well, we want to encourage everyone to head over to hackthemarketstrading.com. Now, over there, you can set up a free account, or you can set up a premium account. The premium account, of course, gives you access to us, gives you access to a lot of back-end data and things of that nature. Good stuff that we can put out there for you guys. One quick note is we would like for you guys to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like a couple of our videos, and of course, comment. That helps us out with the algorithm. So, anything else you guys want to add before we get off here?
Just don't just read what the charts say.
Don't fight it.
And not what your head say.
Exactly. Do not fight the trend. The trend is your friend.
Absolutely.
All right, until next time, we'll see you guys next week.